Hello guys, so here we are. This time I'll be showcasing I don't know if a WoR first, but 60k Abyss with Twinfiend and without A5 Kigiri. Now, important disclaimer, and I will say this before I showcase the run. When I was recording the full run, the 60k run, I did like 56k damage. Now, that's not 60k, I know, but I wasn't going to re-record the fight multiple times because, as some of you guys know, if you don't have A5 Kigiri, there is RNG with this, with the Swallow Hunter trigger. Sometimes can trigger, sometimes it can't. There is RNG there, and I wasn't going to really record the fight twice. If you have A5 Kigiri, this thing will be amazing. It will be really easy to get 60k. If you don't, you rely on RNG or better gear. That's life, guys, okay? So yeah, the run that I will show you, it's around 56, 57k. The team stance is the same, don't worry too much. So this is the team we're gonna use. Ingrid as a lore, Kigiri, whoops, I've removed Ingrid. Ingrid as a lore, Kigiri, Wukong, Erlang Shen, Twinfiend, Phineas, etc. Aileen, and Nerissa. So, as far as replacement, they're pretty hard to replace, but you could most likely use Ares instead of Erlang Shen, but Ares is actually, Erlang Shen is actually better, but they will both work, okay? Now, gear requirements are high. This is Abyss 60k, this is not early, mid-game, or even late-game content, this is end-game content, and it requires pretty good gear. Now, as far as awakenings, I have A1 Phineas, A5 Twinfiend, but you guys will see Twinfiend damage. He does like 5 to 10 million damage, it's nothing. Then I have A3 Ingrid, A5 Wukong, and A4 Kigiri. So it's not like crazy on the awakening side. I know I have A5 Twinfiend and A5 Cetram, but the most important units are Wukong, Kigiri, and Ingrid. So no more talking, let's jump into the run, and I'll be explaining everything later on, okay? See you. Okay, so let's jump into the fight. I've moved myself to the right so you guys can see the units. And to begin with, we place Kigiri, then Nerissa. And now really important, wait until Kigiri has Nerissa like passive on the feet. That way, it will go the passive to Kigiri, because if I place Wukong, my Wukong has higher attack than Kigiri, he would steal the passive, and we want the passive always on Kigiri. Then Wukong, Diao-chan, Ingrid, Aileen, Twinfiend, Erlang Shen, Cetram, and finally Phineas. Now we change Diao and Ingrid to single target, and straight away we use Twinfiend ultimate, really important. Same with Kigiri, as soon as you can, Kigiri ultimate. And same with Wukong. One trick to time up the ultimates with Kigiri, I mean based on the AoE damage that the boss does, and what I do is I like to count to 5. So when you see the AoE damage right there, I do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the next one comes. That way I have the perfect timing for Kigiri ultimate. That's really important in Abyss, okay? That's one of the most important things for Abyss. Here, Cetram ultimate whenever ready, and when the rocks are falling, Erlang Shen ultimate. Okay, now we do the trick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Kigiri ultimate. There we go. And when I get the passive from the Watchguard bonus, I will hit Soul Cadence ultimate. Soul Cadence Twinfiend ultimate. This will change slightly based on how many Watchguard you have. This is for my exact same team. You might need to ult with him a bit earlier or a bit later, but it's pretty much irrelevant because Twinfiend damage is garbage. He does nothing, to be fair, so don't worry too much about it. Now, here we don't heal with Aileen yet. We're gonna wait. Now, at 50% of Seismic Slam, Aileen ultimate. Okay. Third hit. And now, important. When the skill is at 75%, the Meteoric Deluge, Twinfiend ultimate, Kigiri ultimate, Wukong, and we will break the shield without using Phineas ultimate. We are gonna hold it so that right when the shield breaks, we hit Erlang Shen and Phineas. This is really important because that way we get more damage. We maximize the damage we do with the weaken and the debuffs from Erlang Shen. Now, Twinfiend ultimate, because we want the weaken to stay so that when the next phase starts, we do Kigiri, Wukong ultimate, and we maximize the damage. Perfect. Let's fast forward a bit. Now, Alien ultimate at around here, on the below ward. There we go. Now, we will get a stun. We can chill. And now, important, Twinfiend ultimate for the debuffs once again. And now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Kigiri ultimate. Setran ultimate at 50% of Wyrm's Breath. And when the rocks are falling, Erlang Shen ultimate. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple. We will break the shield with no effort. Just because Setram is a beast at breaking the shields. Okay. Perfect once again. Now, Wukong ultimate straight away. Twinfiend ultimate to maximize the damage from our Kigiri. And there we go. Okay, now is when things get hard. I change my Ingrid to AoE, and now I will change her back to single target. This is because that way I can have the perfect timing on her overload to break this magical shield. This might change slightly based on your Ingrid speed, but with my speed, this is where it works really, really well. Now here, at 50%, Alien ultimate, we can fast forward a bit, they're hit from the boss, and now, the first important part of the fight, 70%, 75, Twinfiend ultimate, Kigiri, Wukong, Erlang Shen right now, and as soon as the shield pops, Phineas ultimate. And the shield will be gone. Ingrid will go into overload now, and easy peasy. There we go. Super nice. 41. Now, when the dragon is going to wake up, Twinfiend ultimate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Give ultimate. Perfect timing. Once again. And now is the tricky part. Here, if you don't have enough HP or you're unlucky with the hits from the boss, some of your champs might die. Now, I'ma be honest, I won't be recording this 20 times, so if somebody dies, I might get close to 55, 57k damage, but you guys will get the point anyway, so I won't waste my time recording this like 10, 20 times. If that happens, we heal. Now what I like to do is I change the Ochan to the protection mode. We get the AoE damage here. Okay, let's hope we don't die this time. Nobody did die. Pretty nice. Third hit from the boss. And now, this is the important part, okay guys? Setran ultimate at 50%. Then, I like to do Twinfiend, Erlang Shen when the rocks are falling. And right when you see the shield bar pop up, Wukong ultimate. So, we slow down. Now, Wukong ultimate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Kigiri ultimate. And the shield will be totally gone. Now, if you have A5 Kigiri, this will be much easier. I have A4. The damage difference from A4 to A5 is massive. You guys cannot imagine how big it is. And yeah, pretty much it. Now, when the dragon is gonna wake up, I like to remove Kigiri, I remove Wukong, and I remove Setran. That way, our magical DPS units will get the bonus from them, the penetration from the Ochan. So, Twinfiend ultimate, Phineas ultimate straight away as soon as the dragon change forms. Now, as I've said, I might not get 60k this time because, of course, there is some RNG if you don't have A5 Kigiri. I don't care, I will still upload this video, okay? I want to show you guys the reality of the team, not just some random bullshit with like perfect RNG. Now, Erlang Shen ultimate. Here we might die, some of our units will die most likely. No, nobody did. Another Twinfiend ultimate. And as you guys can see, I'm like pretty close to 60k. I will get 60k some of my runs when I do this team. This time we got unlucky, but the point stands, like the team is as good as it gets. With A5 Kigiri is just a joke, you can most likely get 60k before the dragon even gets to the third physical shield. This is the damage, as you guys can see. And now let's go through the year. So, what are we using? Most important champs. The champ which needs the best year, Kigiri. Kigiri, if you can, Cataclysm and Watchguard exclusive. My Watchguard is pretty bad. I could boost his damage quite a lot, okay? It's not the best build. Left side is pretty nice, but for example here, I don't even have the extra bonus here, so he lacks quite a bit of damage. Then Wukong, Arcana, also works in Cataclysm, triple attack, and quad roll on the left if you can. Then as far as artifact, he's exclusive, of course. Now, one thing to keep in mind is, the Ochan A3 is huge for this, because the penetration will always go to Wukong first, because he's the highest attack, then Ingrid, and then Kigiri. So if you have a high attack Ingrid and your Diao is A2, she will steal the penetration from Kigiri most of the time. That's something you have to keep in mind. Then the third best build is Ingrid, Arcana, full quad attack with some HP. Then we have Diao Chan, as always, typical build, attack bonus. Also, I don't even have attack here, which matters quite a lot. Let me move myself to the left again. Then Erlang Shen, full tank build, Unshaken Will, nothing else. As far as artifact, Cadaver Dagger to get more HP. Then Twinfiend, Arcana build, but he pretty much does nothing. You guys saw the damage. He's just a useless piece of meat, exclusive without the upgraded bonus. Then we have Setram, really important, try to use Infernal exclusive on him and then his exclusive. This will help you a lot breaking the shield. Keep that in mind, that's really important. Also, you can run either Shadow Gaze or his exclusive, both will work really well. Phineas, really important, always run one crit damage main on him. Otherwise, he will steal the penetration from your other DPS because his base attack is so high. So always try to keep his attack below Wukong and Kigiri level. We don't want him to have the penetration. And then the healers, you know, typical build. Some HP around 25 to 30k. Nerissa, the same. Just focusing on attack. I don't care about the rest. I just want her to have high attack and then some HP. And that's pretty much it. As I've said before, I didn't get 60k this time, as you guys saw. Doesn't really matter too much. Today I fucked up my key, and I didn't even do 60k with mine because I wasn't looking. But what I wanted to tell you guys is A3 Diao, A5 Kigiri, those champs make a huge difference. And even though I did 56k now, you guys can see that it's pretty achievable to reach 60k if you have like a really good year. In the end, guys, you have to keep in mind that I'm running like I'm not running that team right now. I'm using Soul Calendar. The rest is the same, but it's not a meta comp. Twinfiend is pretty much the worst lord in the entire game. I'm not using the Poison Trio. I'm just using A4 Kigiri. But if you have A5 Kigiri, the RNG is not there. Sometimes Kigiri will do, if you don't have him A5, he might do 30 to 15% less damage or more damage. It depends on how many times he gets the actual double proc from his talent or ultimate, I don't remember. So yeah, keep that in mind. I've shown 56k, but you guys will do 60k if you have Kikiri. The most Kikiri F5, the most important thing is A3 Diao. Also, A3 Ingrid, it's really helpful, okay, because the overload from Ingrid allows you to break this shield that we are looking at right now, the second magical shield, but it's not necessary. In fact, when you guys can see my run right now, I don't even change Ingrid to single target when I'm using Soul Candles because it's not really needed. If your gear is good enough, and I know this requires good gear, but guys, it's Abyss 60k. I can't do magic, okay? Abyss is like the hardest content we have in the game right now, so you guys have to keep in mind that the gear has to be good. And yeah, I don't know, that's pretty much it. As far as the replacements, Erlang Shen can be replaced by Ares. It's not as good because Erlang Shen just does increase your damage during both phases. That's why he's so good, and also he's a pretty good tank, but it will work as well. Then Phineas requires the exclusive. That's really, really important that you guys have to keep that in mind because that will make the boss not kill your units. And that's pretty much it, guys. Any question, anything else, let me know in the comments below and I'll try to help all of you. See you